Today I want to show you how I designed this particular flyer and posted it on my Instagram page, and most of you actually requested for a tutorial on it. So without wasting much time, let's jump into this. I'm ready, of course, and I hope you're also ready for this. Now what we have to do first is to start from the very beginning so that you follow through with the steps that I'm going to outline for you. So the first step over here is to set the background color, and of course I'm going to use a gradient, and a gradient is this blue gradient, and I'm going to tap on a plus sign to set it from scratch so that you see exactly what I'm going to do. And of course I'm going to use the radial type of the gradient, which is this one over here. That is the radial type, like a circular one. So first of all, I'm going to change the color over here. This is going to be a little bit darker, so I'll make it a dark blue. So let me just work on that quickly. I think this should be okay for me, so I'll tap on OK, and I'm coming to the other slider over here, and I'm going to make it a light blue. So I'll pick the color quick and see what I can do. So let's see how it's going to be. I think this is pretty much cool for me. Let me tap on OK and see how it's going to appear. Good, this is not bad, right? So what I'm going to do is to tap on a check mark, and from here I'll go ahead and import my first elements, and of course it's a regular element that I hope most of you already have, but of course I'm going to actually leave the link in the description for you to kind of have it in case you are not having it now. So let me just do quick and pick it up. Good, I got it over here. Let me tap on a check mark, then I stretch it to the entire working space like this. Then I can go ahead and reduce the opacity of it. Just let's say something like 28 is not bad. So 28, 27, it should be around 20. It shouldn't be below 20. That's the most important thing. Good. So from here we can now go ahead and start entering the text. So for the text, we are going to use a font like Go Bold Bold. So the text is TGIF. That's thank God it's Friday. So TGIF. Then we select our font, which is Go Bold Bold. Good. After selecting the font, then we can now go ahead and increase the size of the text, and we can bring it to the middle and see how it is going to appear. Now I think I pretty much like it this way over here. At this point, let's go ahead and make a duplicate of it. So let's tap on copy, and this time around we are going to remove the color and make it transparent like this. After that, we tap on a check mark and scroll down to stroke. Once we select the stroke, we enable the stroke, then we make the width of the stroke 1, and we change the color of the stroke to white as well. Now you understand as we move on why we need to do this. Okay, so for now let's just keep it over here. Let's just lock it and keep it over here like this. Okay, once we proceed, you understand why we actually did all this stuff. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is to insert some effect over here, which is like lightning effect. But what I'm going to do is to change the color of it to color blue, and let's see how it is going to appear. So yeah, I'm going to use this color blue for it, and I'm going to cover the text T with it just a little bit like this. At this point, I'll tap on a check mark and go ahead and lock this layer at the top. Once I've locked it, I can now go ahead and bring in other resources. So I'm just going to import some resource that I got over here, and of course the link is going to be in the video description for you. So this is the first one, and I'm bringing it in now. So I'll just reduce the size of it a little bit and maybe put it somewhere here like this. I think this should be perfect now. So I'll just make sure it is at the middle. Then I can go ahead and lock the layer, then probably bring it in between the first TGIF and the second one, just like you are seeing over here. And the one at the top, the one that we give the stroke effect to. So take note of that. At this point, we are pretty much done. Now what we have to do now is to make sure we arrange the text with the stroke effect well onto the one that is beneath it. Okay, so that is our job now. Let's do that. Good, I think we are pretty much okay over here. And now what we have to do is to bring in other elements that we have to actually use. So what I'm going to do is to tap on a hexagonal tool over here, then go and tap on import, and from import I'll try to locate the images that we actually have to use in a design, and I'll bring them in quickly. Good, I got one over here, and I'm going to tap on the check mark, and once I have it over here, I have to rotate a bit like this, kind of like this. I have to increase the size of it. And what I have to do now is to change the color of this particular element, and I'm going to use this color filter tool to work it out. And I think this should be perfect for me at this point. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity of it a little bit to, let's say, something like this. This is not bad. Okay, so I'll leave it like this and tap on a check mark and make a duplicate of it by tapping on copy. Once I made a copy of it, I'll rotate it and increase the size of it a little bit, then I'll place it somewhere here. But this time around, I'll push it to the back and later on go and bring it on top of the previous layer like this. Then I can now go ahead and lock the two layers faithfully. So I'm locking them like this. Now along with few other elements that we have to add, and we'll be done with this particular design. So let's do that. So here is the other image that we are adding, and of course you are going to have the link to download all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put this one tool in between the TGIF test we have over here. So everything is in between over here, as you can see. So now let's position it nicely and see how best it will help us. And of course I'm going to make a duplicate of it and bring the duplicate down and send it to the back. Afterwards, then we go and work on it by bringing it on top of the previous background we used. So it is going to be, and of course I can increase the size of it and make sure only some part is showing this way. So at this point, the last thing that we have to do is to make a duplicate of the TGIF, the one beneath over here. Just make a duplicate of it by tapping on copy. Then we can go ahead and change the color to, let's say, some light dark like this, and we can also increase the size of it and rotate it this way. So once we rotate it this way, we just put it over here like this. Make sure we send it to the back of the whole test, the whole design. We send it to the back like this, and we reduce the opacity of it to something like this. Just make sure that it's not that visible. It should be in the background but not visible like that. So I'll tap on a check mark and make a duplicate of it again, then bring down the duplicate here, and of course send it to the back again like this. And if you realize that this one is not even showing, so we have to increase the opacity a bit to see how best it can play out. Now let's go ahead and lock these two layers and see our design now. So this is how our design is going to be, and now we can go ahead and save it and use in our work. Now of course, if you want to work around with the background or change the background color to maybe something that you actually prefer, you can equally go ahead and do that. Okay, you can go ahead and change the background to whichever color that you want to use as an individual. It all depends on your preference. Somebody might even want to change the colors over here to, let's say, something different, maybe the same blue but this different variation of it. So let's see how it's going to be if we happen to maybe kind of do something similar like this, something like this. Let's see how it's going to be. You see there's a complete change in the look of the design. So yeah, that's it. And of course, if you want to save as ultra, as it will give you the highest quality that you actually have. Now this is the end of the video, and if you do learn something from this video, don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe to this YouTube channel, and of course turn on notifications so that each and every time we upload a new video, you get to be the first person to see it and learn from it. Okay, so this is Gospel here from Serene Art, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bless up.